Hi everyone. Today we're going to be practicing our modeling by doing this plate, this Lego plate. I promise we'll be moving on from Lego parts shortly, but bear with me, they're really nice to use. They give us nice dimensions to play with. So let's get to it. First thing I want to show you is I have these drawings for you. So they have all the measurements that you'll need to do the drawing with, and we'll be using those as we go through the project. First thing though, let's go ahead and save. Let's save this as Lego 4x6 plate. I'm going to save it into my Lego bricks project and click save. Awesome. Now we're ready to rock and roll. Let's do it. So the first thing we need to do is we need to know how big our plate is, and it looks like it's going to be 48. Here's that, and 32 on the side. So I'm going to click back over here, and I'm going to sketch on the bottom. And before I do anything else, actually, I'm going to check my document settings to make sure I'm in millimeters, and I am. So then I'm going to here, I'm going to use a centered rectangle and center it on the axis. No reason to do that. I just like to. 32 and 48. And I'm going to click enter. And now I have my first shape to extrude. Now in terms of how high I'm going to extrude it, I'm going to extrude it all the way the full 5 and not the 3.2 just for the base. Because what I want to do is go all the way to the top of the nubs and then bring it back down and expose the nubs that way. I'll show you why that's easier in the future, but that's right there. Okay, so I'm extruding this and I'm going to go up. Let me tip it so I can see which way it's going. Whoops. Extrude up, and I'm going to do 5 millimeters. Perfect, all done. Now I'm going to draw the nub. So I'm going to create a sketch on the face on the top of it. And I'm going to draw, actually before I do that, let me go take a look at what the numbers are. So each nub is 5 millimeters across, and it is 1.8 high. And also each nub down here is 4 millimeters away from the edge and 8 millimeters away from each other. So that's a lot of data to have in your head. Feel free to flip back and forth if you'd like. So I'm going to draw the first nub. I'm going to do here, and I'm going to, whoops, type in 5. It's going to draw 5 for me. I'm going to zoom in so I can see what's going on a little better. And I know I'm going to dimension this, so I got to locate it to a correct place, and that's supposed to be 4. Whoops. And I'm going to dimension it to here, from the center to here and here, and that should be 4 as well. So that's in the right place. Now I need to just do a pattern repeat. So I'm going to do a rectangular pattern. I'm going to click on the object I want to pattern. I'm going to choose here for distance type. There's 2 options: extent, which is how far the first one is from the last one, or spacing, which is how far each one is from each other. I know they should all be 8 millimeters apart, so I'm going to choose spacing on this. And I want, for this direction, I'm going to want there to be 6 of them. And I'm going to want them to be spaced at 8 millimeters apart. I notice they went the wrong way for me, so I need to change that positive 8 simply to a negative 8. And I've got it. So the next way down, I'm going to need 4 of them. And it's pointing down, so I'm going to want a positive number for the 8 millimeters because it's the direction I want it to go. And sure enough, there they are. I'm going to click OK. Now, if I had done just the 3.2 extrude height to start with, I would have to go back and click on every one of these circles and extrude them up together 1.8 millimeters. But instead, I can do this because I went to the very top of them. I'm going to extrude down. When I hit extrude, all I have to click on is just the background. And that's why I did it that way, negative 1.8. And it's going to go down and leave the nubs behind. So just a little pro tip to thinking about which way is going to be easier to select. Now I need to do a quick round over on all of these. So this is going to actually require that I click on them all. So I'm going to choose a fillet. I'm just going to go through and click on the faces. Notice how I accidentally got that edge right there? That is, in this case, an edge and a face is the same thing. That would do the exact same thing. I could have left it. It wouldn't have been a big deal. Okay, 0.1, and I'm going to say okay. And now if I go look at them, yep, they're all rounded over. Fantastic. Top done. Let's go to the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to click to the bottom here and look back over here. Here's the way the bottom looks. Remember, I have these columns here that come down, right? And then I have also these little holes that go into the nubs and core out some plastic. So we're not wasting plastic. So let's do the little holes first. So let's come down here and look at this. So the little hole right here, the dashed line, is something on the inside of the drawing that you can't see. That's why it's a dashed line. It's like invisible. It's like behind the plastic. So that's 2.5 millimeters wide for that hole and 1.5 deep. But that's after we, so let's not do that one first. Let's cut out everything else. Yeah, let's just cut down first. So this is how it works. Like you just try to think through it. So I'm going to cut out the bottom first, 2.5 millimeter deep, and each wall is 1.5. So let's go do that. So I'm going to do an offset real quick. So I'm going to create a sketch on the bottom of the Lego, and I'm going to do an offset of the outside. I'm going to do a negative 1.5. Whoops, I put too many decimal places in. Negative 1. So that gives me my offset, and I'm going to extrude this down 2.5 millimeters. So extrude here and a negative 2.5. Let me just make sure, make sure it's cutting right and everything's perfect. Now I can start building in that structure. So I'm going to create a sketch here. So remember that little hole that goes into the nub was 2.5 wide and 1.5 deep. So I'm going to flip over. I got to know where the nub is first. So I'm going to go do a projection. I'm going to say project that circle. You can see the purple circle that drew on my paper down there. Click OK. And then I'm going to go back to the bottom. And now I can see it. Now, this being a solid line is going to mess with my extrusion later. Notice how it actually selects inside or outside for extrusion type stuff. So I'm going to click on the line, and then I'm going to turn it to a construction line. And now notice how my selections ignore it. It's in the background now. And that's kind of what I want to do. So now I'm going to go here. I'm going to grab this. Remember it was a 2.5 millimeters in diameter. And now I need to repeat this. It's centered, so it's going to be 8 millimeters apart as well. So I'm going to do a create rectangular pattern. That's the thing I'm going to pattern, and I need it to be 6 of them. And because this arrow is pointing up, I'm going to need to make the distance nope, on this one's going to be positive. An 8 because it's pointing in the right direction. I want it to go that way. This next one of 4, because it's pointing up, I need it to go down, so I need to make this a negative 8. And then I'm going to click OK. And now I'm going to extrude all of these, and these I'm going to have to click on. I can't escape the other one because I'm extruding down. So I can't use my lazy technique from before. I mean, I guess I could have if I had over extruded the initial extrusion, I could have pulled it all back up. So that would be an interesting idea to do. So there's 24, because then I need to do negative 1.5. And I'm just going to look from the side to make sure that they're going down like they're supposed to. Yeah, that looks terrific. They're just a little bit into that nub. Okay. Now those are done. Now what we need to do is draw these cylinders that come up. And I'm going to look at them. They look like they are 8 from the outside edges and 8 from each other. And the inside circle right there is 5. The inside diameter is 5. The outside is 6.6. So let's do it. Let's go with a sketch right there. And let's see if we can find the center. Yep, there's the center of that one. There's the center of that one. And I'm going to make that into, escape. I forgot to make it into a construction line, so that's okay, but I can just go turn it on now and make it a construction line. Now I'm going to center this one, so I'm on that black line, and that's the middle. When you see the triangle, that's the middle of that black line. That's what I'm looking for, and I'm going to turn the construction lines off, and my first one's going to be 5. Enter, and then I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to make this one 6.6. A little bit bigger. Now I could have also lined this up using the dimensioning tool from 8 millimeters from this edge to here, but I like putting it right in the middle of all 4. It's the same place either way. That's how the math works out. All right, so I'm going to do a repeating pattern now. I'm going to come over here and create rectangular pattern. It's going to ask me what objects do you want to repeat. I'm going to do this one and this one. Let me move my mouse over. And I need to have, there's going to be 5 of these instead of 6 because they're in between. And they're going to be at a distance of 8, just like before. And then going down this way, I need to have 3 is right. And because this is pointing up, I need to do a -8. Because I want it to go the opposite direction. I'm going to click OK. It's finishing the sketch. Awesome. And now I need to extrude those. And again, I'm just going to click on the ring because that's the part I want to drag up. Stuff is pretty cool, man. Being able to so quickly just build something from nothing. And remember, instead of knowing how far I'm going to extrude, what I'm going to do, which is a better technique, is I'm going to extrude, instead of to a distance, I'm going to extrude to an object. So it's going to go even to whatever I click on. So I'm going to click on the bottom face here. And why did that not just work? That's super strange. Okay, so I don't totally understand. Oh, there it goes. Now I got a circle. I guess I was angled at too much of an angle. There it goes. Okay. That was super weird. I don't know why angling it would matter. So there's all of those. There's that. I think that might be pretty good. Yeah, I think that's done. So let's take a look real quick, make sure we're not missing anything. Nope. Yeah, that's it. So that was the plate. Good practice. Hopefully you had fun doing that, and hopefully getting really good at Fusion 360. We'll start adding in more and more complex and difficult things as we go along.